The WikiLeaked video of civilian killings by U.S. forces in Iraq has inspired some soul-searching this week. The New York Times ran a story on the dehumanizing effect of military training. The reporter wrote of the leaked video, quote, "One of the reasons that the soldiers seemed as if they were playing a video game is that, in a morbid but necessary sense, they were." Sure enough, as it turns out, according to a story on violent video games in the Escapist magazine, during World War II, only 15% of soldiers in that conflict who were unsupervised by an officer actually fired their weapons at anyone. The military had to learn how to train people to shoot other people, teach them not to recognize the enemy as human. And modern video games do, in part, train our brains to override the instinct not to kill. Oddly, the New York Times included barely any note of worry or concern about what those who are trained to shoot at targets do when they take the next step of actually shooting at real-life people. Do they stop? Do they stop when they come home? There's no discussion of that in the Times news piece. But turn to the so-called arts section of the very same day's paper, and there's a seemingly oblivious front-page review of two, quote, hardcore first-person combat shooter games that perhaps prospective shooters might enjoy. Quote, "We're all reaping the benefits of the arms race between the game makers," says the reviewer. Arms race? Well, advertising revenues may be benefiting, but the rest of us, real-life people, amazingly, that's the big unanswered and even unasked question at the Times.